score? Hello and welcome to Sky247 presents Not Just Cricket. So Wasim, what did you have for iftar then? Your lovely biryani or your lovely or your tunde kebab? Do let us know.
I told you I'm gonna have a Lucknowi kebab, so I'll stick to it. But at the halftime, I felt there was a good chance that I can switch to biryani, but they didn't give me a chance, so I have to stick with the kebab now.
Marketarian. Let's talk about our game. It was actually a very good game, I have to say. If I didn't have these red nails, I would have bitten them because it kept it kept shifting, right? Like it's like it was like a game of chess. Like the power was shifting from here to here to here. So Deep, let's discuss our wonderful game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it just kept moving. I mean, even the first innings, I mean, they started off really well. Hyderabad picked up 3 wickets, what 32 for three it was in the power play. Then the middle overs, super from KL Rahul and especially Deepak Huda. And then again, the last 4 or 5 overs, they went for what 55 for four or something. So at one point in time, it seemed like they're going to touch 190. But then obviously they pulled it back, the Hyderabad bowlers. But batting wise as well, I mean, yeah, when Rahul Tripathi was out there, it seemed like they could do it, less than 10 runs and over and stuff like that. But uh, again, that powerful middle and low middle order has not fired for Hyderabad, and
Yeah.
and that's the reason we see Hyderabad lose another game. And this is big because we were discussing about the baggage that they're carrying from last season, and that baggage is just getting heavier.
Wasim, it definitely was certainly was a game that was swinging like a pendulum.
Yeah, I think they did well. First of all, like Deep said, they did well in the power play. They shifted their strategy, and it was good to see that they brought Washington Sundar to bowl in the power play, and it reaped rewards. He bowled really, really well. Him and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think, is a good combination, and they did that. But I think Romario Shepherd again, he needs to step up. Umran Malik, I think a lot of things to like about him, but he's got pace, but he's not using it really well. I mean, there's only one way. He's too predictable. So that is something I think. Pace is something which is good to like about him. But in T20 cricket, that is what you like. You want pace on the ball, and that is something where he needs to improve. But chasing 170, I feel they could have done it easily. I mean, I don't know. Probably Washington Sundar batting at
Yeah.
Aiden Markram's number, and Aiden Markram coming down, and what Deep said, power at the death. If Aiden Markram or Nicholas Pooran had been there at 5 and 6, I think they should have won this game. They had this game. If you're not going to chase 170 on where bowling is going to be difficult in the second half, then it looks very difficult for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Deep, let's talk about Avesh Khan as well, who certainly left his mark. Let's discuss him a little bit, please.
Yeah, I mean, Avesh, I mean, 4 for 24 was absolutely brilliant, especially his couple of overs, the back end. I think that moved the game. I mean, those couple of wickets, was Samad and Nicholas Pooran, 2 and 2. Huge, those 2 wickets in one over. So I think, and Avesh, listen, let's not forget he was the second highest wicket taker last time around. Only a couple of wickets less than Harshal last season. So obviously, this is a good run of games in the tournament for Avesh, and he's just improving. And it's so good to see someone like Avesh doing so well because obviously after, I mean, he was a big name post under 19 World Cup and all that. Then kind of for a couple of years or a year and a half or something, he was like, I don't know, he was not there in the scene. But the way he's come
Yeah.
back last couple of seasons, it's been really really good. Again, his variations, he's got all the variations, and now with maturity and with experience, he knows when to bowl which delivery against which batter. So I think his execution is only getting better. When I say execution, not just the exact ball, but also the planning part of it in terms of, I mean, what delivery is he going to bowl? Right. So the Yorkers, the slowers, he's got all of that. He's got all of that. But he's also getting it right in terms of execution and planning.
Absolutely. Wasim, it seems like you were secretly consulting the Hyderabad team. You wanted Sundar to bowl in the power play and Purun to come in at 5. So let's chat about their performances, please.
Yeah, I think bowling wise, Karishma, I think they did most things right. They used Washington Sundar at the power play, which is his strong point. He bowls in the power play, picks your wicket. He got Evan Lewis, the dangerous man, out. He got Quinton de Kock. He got two left-handers to bowl to. That is where I think LSG had made a mistake by sending probably Evan Lewis early. They could have afforded to send Manish Pandey at number 3 with off spinner bowling. But I think bowling wise, I think they did most things right. Getting Umran Malik to bowl in the middle overs, Natarajan and Bhuvi to bowl in the death. So yeah, they did all right. I feel bowling wise, but they just succumbed to the batting pressure. Nicholas Puran, I've been with him last couple of seasons. That is the problem with Nicholas Puran. He doesn't finish games, and obviously he'll be happy that he got some runs, but that is the problem with him. He doesn't finish games. So that is going to be a concern.
Okay.
Washington Sundar again, if he comes at number 5, he's not known for big hitting. So you might as well send him at Aiden Markram's number and get Aiden Markram to come one number down, and then you've got Aiden Markram, Nicholas Puran, and Nomali Shepherd. Your middle order batting or lower middle order batting looks very very strong. So that is something again going forward they need to think about.
Okay,
Can I ask a question? I want to ask Wasim something because, as far as I'm concerned, Nicholas Puran, when you see him bat for West Indies, he looks like a different batter altogether. Obviously, you can
yeah.
see that he's got all the shots, he's got all the, I mean, he's got that talent. But what happens when he comes to this tournament, Wasim, as you mentioned, you've spent time with him. Why is he not performing in this particular tournament? What happens with him?
I think obviously he wants to do really well. He's very serious about he's not typical West Indian deep. He's got Indian roots. So he's pretty serious about his game. He wants to do well. So sometimes I think he overthinks things. Uh, and then obviously his other game, we all know that he's got power hitting, but the ability to probably rotate the strike or take the game deep, that is something which I feel he needs to improve if he wants to bat at number 5 and finish game. Those are the things I feel he needs to do. Sometimes he takes too many risks batting at that number, and if you are taking too many risks at that number, you are bound to get holed out. So that is something I feel, because I've seen in the last probably 25-30 games that I was with them, he doesn't close out games. So that is something I feel he needs to do.
Fair enough. Another person we need to talk about is Deepak Hooda. Obviously, KL has a lot of faith in him. When the chips are down, he's certainly performing. So, Deep, we have to talk about him as well because he's definitely someone
Yeah.
that caught our eye in the game today during
Oh,
the match.
absolutely. I mean, that partnership, I think it was 86-run partnership, whatever it was. I think he was the major contributor into that partnership. Uh, in that partnership, Kale's strike rate was maybe around 120, but was Deepak Huda, 51 of 33, who kept that innings going, that momentum going. And I think obviously, I mean, a lot has happened with him in last year or so. I mean, off the field stuff. He had to move his first class side from Baroda. He moved to Rajasthan. All that is obviously under the bridge now. But I think that confidence that he's got from playing for India, and he's done well playing for India. And when you look him out there last few games that I've seen him, it just looks like a different player. And it's got, I mean, he's the same player. I mean, he was last year. Last year he wasn't as great as this. I mean, he never in his career, and he's playing this tournament for a while, a few years now. Never in his career he's got 250s in a season, and he's already got 250s in this season. So I think it's that
Yeah.
confidence that he's got from playing for the country, and also something that he mentioned about Gotham, because obviously I think he's Gotham is a great leader. Obviously, he's a proven track record as far as captaincy is concerned, but I think more than captaincy, he's a good leader, and I think you know uh, uh, Deepak Huda kind of likes that kind of person around him. I think that Gotham being there is having a lot of positive effect on a lot of players, including Deepak Huda.
Absolutely. And we also have to talk about KL Rahul himself being a great anchor bridge today, Wasim.
Yeah, that is something which is not new, to
Yeah,
us or even to KL. We know that he's going to bad time, and like Deep said, that
yeah,
contribution from Huda was very crucial. I think KL was probably going a little slow to Lucknow's liking. I mean, he's got out in the 19th over, getting 68. He should have been 80, 85, close to 90 if he had batted till 90 overs. So sometimes I think it gets stuck in that middle overs. It doesn't take that risk, which probably we want to see the attacking KL Rahul. Sometimes we want to see. Sometimes he holds back and take the game deep. But when you've got Deepak Huda, in front of you, who can up the tempo, then you don't mind that. But yeah, probably when KL bats 19 over, you want him to score close to 100, maybe 80, maybe 90. But
uh,
he'll take that. It's in the winning cause. And probably when Quinton de Kock doesn't score, when Evan Lewis gets out, you want somebody to anchor that inning. So you will probably see KL doing that more often.
okay. And an understating performer, but today he took center stage, was definitely birthday boy Nathrajan. So let's have a few words on him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Natarajan obviously is he's such a, can I use the word sweetheart? He is a sweetheart. I mean, the way he talks, he walks and stuff like that. He's such a soft-spoken guy and a great backstory, right? He's got a super backstory. What a inspiration for all those out there. Again, I'm so happy that he's come back strong. He missed the last season because of injury. That was quite serious, and I'm glad that he's back and bowling the way he can. And obviously, he's such an important part of this bowling lineup and this team. It's just good to see him back again. And when the last set of contracts came out, the India contracts, I thought he would be there, because when you look at left arm seamers, and I'm talking about shorter formats here, I think he's right up there. If I have to pick a left arm seamer for the Indian team right now, I think I'd go with Natarajan, especially in this format.
Okay, and then someone who's been groomed very well by Dale Steen is Umran Malik. Bowled his first over well, but then was a little bit short or too full. But I mean, the games will continue. So Wasim, words on Umran Malik.
Well, I think he's a very good talent. First of all, SRH, retaining him is a big thing. Somebody who's only started playing cricket, few years back, 2017, he started playing, and for him to, be in this position, I think it's a, testament to, the good things that he has done. So he's got pace, which you don't see with very many people bowling 150 plus. But I think he just needs to be a little bit smart, and I think being with Dale Steyn, Tom Moody, and all those stalwarts in that dugout, I think will help him. I think by the end of this IPL, you will probably see a lot smarter Umran Malik
Yeah,
coming out of the IPL. I think sometimes he's too predictable. Sometimes even when he gets hit, he wants to again come out and bowl fast, and that is something the quality batters I think like. He doesn't surprise you with the slow ball, or doesn't surprise you with his length too often. He goes short, and sometimes it's easy to hit him around the park. So he just needs to be a little bit smart, just need to learn a few more deliveries, I feel. And he'll be very, I mean, pace is something the batters don't want. Somebody who bowls at that speed, you don't want to face them on good pitches. But if you got few variations, I think that is going to make him even more dangerous bowler, and he's one for the future, there's no doubt about it.
okay.
If he learns a few trades, I feel he's one for the future without a doubt.
Deep.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge is that somebody like him, who today his average speed was a 148, 149, which is a rarity, not just Indian cricket, in world cricket, that's a rarity. But also the fact that he went for so much. So the challenge, I guess, for anyone in that dugout or coaching him is kind of telling him, don't lose out on pace, but you want him, like Wasim said, you want him to develop a few variations, because as Wasim mentioned, I mean, he came against two guys who are superb. I mean, KL Rahul is world class, but even Deepak Huda is in great form, right? So the smartest thing that both of them did, the second over went for 20. The smartest thing that they did was they weren't fighting his pace, they were using his pace. right? So you, as a bowler, also you got to understand who you're bowling against. I think that he will learn with experience and maturity, but you want that process to kind of fasten a bit, because what might happen is he'll play again, and if he goes for those many runs again, he might get dropped, and then you don't want him to think about other things apart from bowling fast and getting variations.
Yeah.
You don't want him to compromise with that pace, and that becomes a challenge not just for the player obviously, but also for people who are around him to kind of keep encourage him to bowl fast, and not to get disheartened by games like this, but also encourage him and kind of tell him, maybe try out a few deliveries, as Wasim mentioned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's look at the social tracker so we can see what our lovely people have been also saying on our social feeds. Let's take a look. Speed. So let's look at this social comment, shall we? Umran Malik's second over today, and then you can see all his
Yeah, that's
consistent
exactly what I was saying, right?
speed.
He bowled at, I mean, he got
Yeah,
hit, then the next ball was quicker, right? Then he gone
yeah,
again, he got hit again, the next ball was quicker. So it was a great over in terms of very exciting over, super batting effort from both Huda and KL Rahul. But yeah, overs like these can be disheartening for someone like Umran. I hope he learns from these overs and these games, and learns
yeah,
quickly.
I mean, in that speedometer, I mean, I would be, love to see a couple of deliveries which are 116, maybe 120. Uh,
mm,
just have a look at Jofra Archer. I mean, he bowls at pace, but then he surprises you with those leg cutters and slow balls, and then he pitches a Yorker. Somebody like what's his name, the KKR fast bowler. I forgot his name. Sorry, there are the
Loki.
Gujarat Titans fast bowler.
Lockie
What's his name?
Ferguson.
Loki. Yeah,
Yeah,
Loki.
Loki.
Sorry. He's somebody who bowls at serious pace, but then again he's got so many variations that he keeps you guessing.
Yeah,
But it's absolutely other way with Umran Malik. If he gets hit, he wants to bowl even faster, and
yeah.
that is not going to help you. Batters like KL, Deepak Huda, and even better batsmen, they are going to use your pace, and you are going to go for 45, 50 every time if you have that tendency.
Yep. Talking about that, let's take a look at our next social media tweet. There we go. He's ready and he's warmed up clearly. We can see
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Not
I
good
saw
news
him
for the
bowl
Bang.
quite a bit. Where did Delhi play? I think Delhi played last game in Pune, right? A couple of days ago, and it was really good to see him bowl. So he was bowling there for 30-40 minutes almost before the game started. So obviously, because he was bowling for that long, realized that he's not going to play, but he's ready, and he was bowling at full tilt. So it's really good to see Anrik Nokia back, and also from Delhi's perspective. I mean, he's such an important bowler for Delhi. I mean, their main bowler, so to say.
Absolutely. So this was the social tracker. And before I let you guys go, let's have a look at the numbers tracker. There we go. Rajasthan, Kolkata, Gujarat, Punjab, Lucknow, Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, and Hyderabad. And Hyderabad, well, I don't want to say anything, but not very good. Net
Yeah.
run rate certainly look
I think
great.
I think Delhi will probably climb up with the kind of team they have. I feel they are a pretty good side with Enric Nokia coming in. I feel they've got a very good balanced team. Even Bangalore, for that matter, Maxi
Yeah.
coming back, that is going to strengthen their batting quite a bit. He'll bowl as well few overs. I think those are the teams I feel who have done well in the auction. You can clearly see they are doing well, and surprisingly CSK and MI, uh, you know the kind of teams they had before, we don't see the same depth and same kind of quality struggling.
Well, you had mentioned just Bangalore, so we have Rajasthan taking on Bangalore tomorrow. So that's certainly going to be a very interesting game. Pink meets red. That's kind of my only comparison thing over here on the color chart. That's going to be a very good game tomorrow, which we're going to be discussing tomorrow as well. Before I let you go, a couple of words on these two teams that will be playing tomorrow. Deep.
Well, for me, I think that's going to be one brilliant game of cricket because you've got Rajasthan, who's in great form. Rajasthan's playing really good cricket. And Bangalore, and I agree with Wasim, I think that's one of my top four teams before the tournament started. They've got a good squad with Maxwell available. I think it's going to be a really good game. And tomorrow's at Wankhede, so that should be a high scoring game. So yeah, interesting that.
It will be.
Chahal
I
is
think
going
it
to
will
be
be an
against his
interesting
old
game.
side.
Yeah. With Yuzvendra Chahal bowling to Virat Kohli and then Devdutt playing against RCB, that is going to be, quite a, watch for all of us.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to me, and thank you, viewers, for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. IST. Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and we will be back tomorrow. Take care. Good night, and God bless.
Thank you.